So, mistakes were made, i.e. I bought more books. Here we are. Hey folks, my name is Jen, and yes indeedy I did buy more books. So earlier this year I did like a buddy read of Don Quixote with my friend Graz over at the GKBC, and he just very recently asked me if I would be interested in doing another like big chunky reread, or not reread, buddy read, excuse me, and I said sure. So I just barely got my package today, so that was very exciting. So we are going to be reading Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. Left penniless by the death of his improvident father, young Nicholas Nickleby assumes responsibility for his mother and sister and seeks help from his Scrooge-like Uncle Ralph. Instantly disliking Nicholas, Ralph sends him to teach in a school run by the stupidly sadistic Wackford Squeers. These names are excellent. Nicholas decides to escape, taking with him the orphan Smike, one of Squeer's most abused young charges, and the two embark on a series of adventurous encounters with an array of humanity's worst and best. Apparently this is one of Dickens' earliest works. Pretty interested, pretty excited to see where this goes. This is one that I've heard like mentioned. Like I feel like this was definitely on the list of books that Matilda read in like her first year or so of using the library, if I remember correctly. But this is not one of his that I really hear about that much, so this will be fun to get into this and fun to do a buddy read again. And then as for my other books that I grabbed, I actually grabbed a couple of books, well, a small stack of books, because I have been really stressed out recently, and just not great. So I ended up late one night stress buying a bunch of books, and these other ones are the result of that. And they all are books that I have been wanting to read for most of them quite a while. So let's get into this. First up, got another kind of chunky-ish classic. A lot of them are also kind of spooky-ish too. This one I grabbed is The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. I have heard good things about this. I feel like I've definitely seen like videos reviewing this book like within the past year, so everything I hear about it just sounds more interesting. This says that Wilkie Collins stands as the inventor of the modern detective story. The Moonstone introduces all the ingredients: a homey English country setting, colorfully exotic background in colonial India, the theft of a fabulous diamond from a lovely heroine, a bloody murder and a tragic suicide, a poor hero in love with the heroine but suspected of the crime who can't remember anything about the night the jewel was stolen, a lawyer, a doctor, a sea captain, and assorted friends, relatives, and servants, all of them suspects, and most essentially a bumbling local policeman and a brilliant if eccentric London detective. There's also apparently a lot of satire in here, so I am really looking forward to reading this one as well. Also grabbed a Shakespeare play I've been wanting to read for a long time, and it's Macbeth by William Shakespeare. I know basically next to nothing about this play other than it is known as a Scottish play in dramatic circles because it is very unlucky to speak its name in a theatre, and I know this has the lines bubble bubble Doyle and well, double bubble boil in trouble, right? It's got the three witches, it's got that out damn spot line. If I remember correctly, this is about a Scottish lord or knight of some type and his wife who decides to catapult him to the highest appointment in the land. She is going to scheme and kill whomever to get her husband and herself up to that point. That's basically what I know of it. I don't know if that's completely accurate or not, but I have been wanting to read if not all of Shakespeare's plays, I just like to read more of them. And this is one of the ones that I've never studied, actually. So I'm really interested to getting into that. Also, that was recommended on a couple of videos I've seen recently of people that are like, hey, really good fall time books or fall time classics to read or whatever, so thought why not. While I was grabbing that play, I saw another play that I've been wanting to read for a long time, and it is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, and this is by Tom Stoppard. This is basically a modern dramatic masterpiece. It is Hamlet told from the point of view of the ill-fated Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I also don't know anything about this play other than that, but Hamlet, I do really, I don't know if love is the correct word for it. I enjoy it, I guess. Yeah, so I've been interested in reading that one. I have The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. As you can see, I'm currently partway through it. I have seen, not the original one from the 70s, but I've watched the, what was it, the Ryan Reynolds one, right? From a few years ago. It's kind of spooky. I was listening to a lot of things recently, podcast episodes, listened to a couple of podcast episodes about everything, covering like really in depth. Listened to a podcast episode about the 1970s movie adaptation. So this is something that's interested me, although at this point, after having listened to so many different episodes about the particular circumstances around this, I don't know, I think it's a crock of shit, but it's still fairly entertaining at the moment. If you don't know what the Amityville Horror is, in 1975 the Lutz family moved into their dream home. Same room where Ronald DeFeo had murdered his parents, brothers, and sisters just 1 year earlier. Psychic phenomena that followed created the most terrifying experience the Lutz family ever encountered, forcing them to flee the house in 28 days. This is about that experience. There is a part at the beginning that talks about the tragic familial side of the DeFeo family. I think that tragedy is something that tends to get lost in the mix while everyone's talking about the evil demon house and the Lutz family, and my god, then we also get like the Warrens involved and everything. I haven't gotten to any of that yet. Still in the house where I'm reading. George Lutz has just decided to look into background information on the house. That's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts when my October wrap up comes around, because I imagine I will finish reading this month. But yeah, I have always wanted to read it just because it's one of the most famous like paranormal books that's out there. I hear people talk about it a lot. I've heard people talk about it a lot for like years and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts about this. But yeah, definitely still, I mean, entertaining. Then another book that I don't know how this is gonna be. Troubling, not troubling, I'm not really sure. I grabbed We Need to Talk About Kevin. This is by Lionel Shriver. This is... See, the thing is that I have heard that this is nonfiction. I have heard that this is fiction. I have heard that this is fiction to a particular situation, like Room by Emma Donoghue is fiction, but heavily based off of some real circumstances that happened, and I think that's more along the lines of what this is. This is following Eva. She didn't really want to be a mother necessarily, and things have just gotten kind of worse because she actually is the mother of an quote, unlovable boy who murdered 7 of his fellow high school students, a cafeteria worker, and a much adored teacher who tried to befriend him 2 days before his 16th birthday. And this book is taking place 2 years later as she's reflecting on the effect of everything on her, the town, the family, her marriage, parenthood, her career, and basically talking about Kevin's horrific rampage. And I've heard that this is like really heavily based off of experiences by, I think, at least one of the mothers of the Columbine shooters. I could be completely wrong. But this is a book that I've heard people rave about. I've heard controversy about this. But it's definitely a topic that was extremely, well, I wouldn't say extremely nerve-wracking. It was something that I acknowledged in the back of my mind when I was a student, but I don't think it was as prevalent and as a daily horrific like concern that it is today. So I know this is like probably going to be upsetting. I do not think I'm going to be reading this anytime soon, or at least not this year. I'm thinking I might dive into it next year. But I am still really interested in it. I'm interested to see this perspective on things. And it is all based on correspondence, and I do enjoy books that are written like they're letters. So, and the last book that I grabbed, I was not going to grab this yet because I was waiting to hear thoughts on it, but then I saw it online and I was like, you know what, fuck it. You've been wanting this ever since you first heard about it on Anticipated Reads, you might as well get it. And it's How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This is following siblings who their parents have passed and they are heading back to their childhood house that they never wanted to go to again. They're heading back there to basically take care of affairs and deal with the weird ass shit that their parents left behind. It's stuffed to the rafters with the remnants of her father's academic career and a mother's lifelong obsession with puppets and dolls. I'm one of those people who is not really scared of dolls or puppets. I actually really love puppets. We'll see how I feel after this book because I've heard some things. But yeah, again, I don't know if this is something I'm going to pick up this month. Originally I thought, oh, definitely 100%. Yeah, all the horror that I wanted to read has been kind of derailed, so I don't know anymore, but we'll see. Anyway, that was everything that I grabbed most recently. Let me know if you guys have read any of these, if there's any that you're like, oh my god, you should read that because I want to hear your thoughts or whatever. Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for always watching. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing if you would like, and I will see you guys next time.